going to do another video on bullying, anxiety, social anxiety, and positive message throughout, right? Because I know it's a topic that it's quite hurtful for most people if they've been through it. But I've got a different perspective on it as someone who went through bullying a long time ago and come back from it, succeeded, overcome it, healed from it, whatever word you want to use. I did it, and I know of my story. If I share it again in different parts of it, I believe I can give you the tools in my story to go and address yours and improve yours. So a lot of people who get bullied when they're younger, they have a feeling as they get older, this feeling for a long time. They feel disempowered by the bullies, and they feel disempowered by how bullies have made them feel and left them to feel about themselves, their self-worth in this world, their self-esteem. So usually the feeling you're left with is that I'm not good enough, that there's something wrong with me, something's broken, I'm different to everybody else, I'm undeserving, I don't deserve success, I don't deserve to have love, I don't deserve to have relationships, I don't deserve to improve my finances, I basically don't deserve anything other than a miserable life or a very mediocre life. It leaves you feeling deeply ashamed and very undeserving. And a big part of that leaves you with self-doubt, and there's a feeling that I don't have a right to try and be successful because I'm like a terrible person. And it's almost like if you don't heal from this, you give the power to these bullies or people that have criticized you or hit you or called you names or laughed at you, or if it's been like a continuous thing. Some people have it with friends. They have relationships where they're being bullied or put down, not always usually physically, but through criticism, through comments and discouraging them and laughing at their ideas and making them feel stupid. So what I realized when I started gaining my confidence and wising up, that I used to allow bullies to make me feel stupid. And that made me feel very uncomfortable, and it's a horrible feeling, and I never wanted to feel stupid again. So I wouldn't do anything outside of that box that would jeopardize my self-esteem or my identity. So for example, I wouldn't dance even though I wanted to dance, because I was afraid that if I danced, bullies or other people would laugh at me, and it would be a reminder of how I felt when I got bullied, and that was such a horrible feeling. And it's almost like a deep shame and embarrassment, a disgust for yourself. So you don't end up living your dreams. You don't do things you really want to do because you're afraid that you'll be mocked, you'll be laughed at. But here's the exciting part. You don't realize the power you've got. You could take your power back. You could disempower every single person that's ever bullied you, even if they're not in your life anymore, but they're in your memory, they're still haunting you. You could take your power back by building more courage, building more confidence. And basically, if I can sum it up, if you keep taking action and facing your fears and doing the things that you want to do in your life and treating other people well, you will get to a certain point of confidence where these bullies can't touch you no more. You're stronger than them. You're better than that. Your opinion of yourself is greater than their opinion of you. And with more understanding, what I come to understand, and I think this is true for you, the bullying that I went through when I was younger, now I understand it as an adult, I have so much more life experience. The reason why people bullied me is because they were jealous of me. They were threatened by my personality, my kindness, my social skills, my athletic ability. It threatened them. So they had to close me down. They had to find a way of stopping me because it made them feel insecure. And the way they did that was by saying hateful, hurtful, nasty things, putting doubt in, laughing at you. Bullies basically try to get you to stop succeeding. And when I realized that, it did help me to heal, forgive, and it helped me to overcome it. Because I went for a stage, probably what you're going through, where I used to think the reason they bullied me is because I'm a terrible person. I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm ugly. I'm unattractive. I'm a disgrace. I am a shameful person. But it wasn't that. That was the consequences of how I felt because of what happened and how they wanted me to feel. But when you realize you've got a choice as to how you want to feel, And you can get to a level of mental toughness and strength and character and courage and confidence where they cannot get into your heart. They can't do it because you've built such a great positive energy and you've got great things going in your life. And I think it's important as well. We have to remember, we don't want to get too negative, guys, and think everyone's like it, because everyone's not like that. Think of all the good people you've met in your life. Think of how many people are going to value you and applaud what you do. And it's just part of life. If you look at all successful people, pretty much every person successful got bullied at school, or they got bullied in their family, or they were discriminated against some way. And that drove them even more. So don't allow it to disempower you. Use the pain, the trauma, the memories to empower you and go for be a better. And the way that you crush them, I know this isn't logical, is by forgiving them and realizing that the harm that they caused themselves, the pain that they had to live with after what they done to you was probably just as greater as the pain you went through, right? It's not competition. And obviously people do change. You don't know what they went through, but it doesn't, obviously it's not right what they've done, and they would have paid the consequences, and that always happens. It takes a bit of time, but you see it. I saw it with people that bullied me, bullied others. They had a lot of bad luck in their life. Things didn't go right at certain points because of their actions. But yeah, like I said before, if I didn't get bullied at school, there's no way I would have gone out and been as successful as I have been and helped as many people. All of the great things that came after, it wouldn't have come like that for me. I would have been a different person. I wouldn't even be doing this video right now. Johnny Berba brand wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have all these great relationships that I've got with all of you, friendships, and I've met people from all around the world. None of that would have been possible because I never would have had the drive that I've got. I wouldn't have been steered in this direction. And that can be the same for you. So it's like, I realized that when I was a young kid, when I was going through it, I remember thinking, I can respond to this. It's horrible. They're laughing at me. They're threatening me. They're putting fear into me. I'm gonna stand up for myself. So later on, that's why I took up martial arts and learnt boxing. So you start looking at the positives, and when you take action and you work on yourself, obviously, I'm not judging anyone, but some people become victims because of it. And they're angry, resentful, and they hate everybody. I understand it, right? I chose not to be like that because that's not helpful in the long run. And then you miss out on many good people because not everyone's like that. But I can understand some people have been through so much bullying and their trust is destroyed to a point where it's like everybody's like that, and then they give up on themselves. So don't ever give up on yourself. It's never too late. In your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you can be really successful. Just a couple of names. Joe Calzaghe, one of the best fighters of all time, but the best fighters to come out of Britain. Amazing. Calzaghe was bullied at school. He was shy, introverted, and he went on to be undefeated, 46-0. He was an incredibly decorated amateur, great professional, great man, great role model, one of my heroes of boxing. And he was a victim of bullying, but he transcended it. So many people. I was the same. I went through it. So you just got to build yourself back up. And it's crazy because it's like all the things that people told me I can't do, or, you know, like they put doubt in your head, they threaten you. Like, if you do that, I'm going to harm you. I went on and did all those things. I know many people back in the day, at school when I got bullied, they didn't like me speaking. My voice triggered them. Because I had a good voice, a sincere voice, like confidence. It was different, honest. It was just unique. And they hated it, and they used to close me down. So I didn't speak for many years. But now look how I speak, with confidence, with passion, fearless, and inspiring millions of people, thousands of people. So remember that. Remember your worth. Remember what you can do. And they're not right. Just because they said all those things, and it's because they weren't happy. They were broken, they were angry, they were projecting it. Obviously, when you're young, we don't know this. We're not supposed to, we're kids. But when you become an adult, you start putting the pieces together, you learn, and you can really achieve something fantastic if you take my advice or even a bit of it. And go and learn from others. There's plenty other teachers that give you this similar perspective. But most people that are successful, that you love and you admire, they got bullied at school, but they refused to be victims. They moved on. And usually, when you speak to most successful people who have transcended bullying, when you ask them how do they feel about the bullies, they're like, they don't hate them anymore, they forgive them, they feel compassionate, generally that's how I feel now. Obviously, it took a while to get to this point of being able to forgive. It's a process. But I think one of the ways it helps you to forgive is succeeding and becoming a great person, best person you can become. So if you guys, again, you might be curious, how did I get my mentality? How do I get the passion, the drive, the confidence? It's the bullying. I refuse to let people keep me down or hurt me or harm me or put me in fear. I refuse it. I'm so driven. So, things like even online hate criticism, it won't work on me because I've got so much experience from physical bullying in school in different situations. Eventually I stood up to it. So you got to stand up to it to a certain point. But yeah, that's why as well, when I put those fitness videos out, the psychology deep down is showing you to come back from bullying, get yourself in great shape, work on your confidence, public speaking, express yourself. If you want to get them back, Frank Sinatra, great thing, best revenge is success. Basically means what I said. You can forgive. That's how you get payback. But you don't lower yourself to their level, because if you go out then and you start bullying, you're just going to be on the same level and you're going to feel terrible, and then you're going to put that pain onto someone else. So don't become like something that you didn't like. That's important as well. So you don't realize what you could achieve right now if you can get your mind right, and you can. And I think for me, right, and I hope this can help a lot of you. I can the fact that I can speak about this now with a smile on my face and I don't feel shamed or embarrassed to tell everyone, it shows how much I've healed. Because for many years I couldn't speak on this. You might be going through the same, I understand, but I couldn't speak about it. I was too ashamed. It was too hurtful. It was too personal. But now, because I've come so far with it and succeeded in many different ways, I want to talk about it. I want to share it. I want to help other people that have gone through that. And it feels good to get it out. It feels great, actually. It's part of success to talk about it. And I always like hearing people's stories. Another example is David Goggins, just off the top of my head, who got bullied at school, and look at what he's achieved. Look what he's built himself into. And it's not always famous people that we know on the internet. There's people that I know, friends. There's so many people in the world that have come from it. So make sure, don't allow yourself to go into that dark, negative place where you feel like they've beaten you, you're a victim, and you give up, and then you don't try new things in life. A lot of people don't try new things. They don't realize, because the damage of bullying, because unconsciously they feel defeated. They're afraid. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure, going through failure toughens you up. It helps you to eventually get to success. It's necessary. We don't like it, but at the same time, we have to go through it to get to be even better and to succeed. So these are all these things I'm saying, they're all relevant to getting over bullying, moving past it, and especially when we're talking about social anxiety, I would say, just a rough estimate, might not be exactly accurate. I'd probably say 90% of social anxiety is caused through bullying when you're younger at school. But you can come back from it by being successful later on and creating a better life. So don't give up on yourself. And believe me, man, I was so close to giving up in my life. I didn't have the confidence at a certain point. I was really insecure, sensitive. It took me time. It was a process to build the strength, the confidence, the courage, and the self-approval. Because when you get bullied for a while, it can leave you at a point where you're vulnerable. You're always looking for approval. You don't know how to approve yourself. You don't know how to give yourself love, esteem, courage, confidence. And I know that's a difficult thing. Another thing, if you're asking me, how do you get this for yourself? How do I not rely on it? Physical fitness training, discipline, boxing, public speaking, all areas of human development. Everything where you've got to go into that tough feeling. And if you put yourself through something tough, you're going to come out with something great afterwards. I'll leave you on that note. I couldn't have said it any better than that, all right? Like, share, subscribe. Let me know your story if you care to share it in the box below. And let me know, once again, if my story helped you to deal with what you're dealing with and to move forward and overcome this pain, this trauma, this insecurity, this doubt, so you can do something great in your life. Fearless.